Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're joined by Lieutenant Colonel Carlos Lovell, who is military advisor to the Chief of Staff and Chairman of the Barbados Defense Forces 45th anniversary celebration. That's right, 45 years of the BDF. So we're going to hear a little bit more about their mandate and, of course, delve into what's happening calendar-wise. We were catching up before, but good morning to you. Wonderful to have you here with us today.
Good morning, Barbados, and good morning, Tisha. You're looking fantastic this morning in BDF colors.
Thank you. I'm told I'm only missing the green.
Absolutely.
So I'll correct that at some point in time.
Absolutely.
Let me start with a congratulatory message on your church service yesterday. Very well attended, strong messaging, and I think generally it went well. What are your thoughts?
Yes, we were extremely happy with the support of the Barbadian public and our partners across the public sector. With respect to the turnout, we had approximately 800 persons in attendance, and by all accounts, persons have indicated that it was one of the best church services that they've ever attended with the BDF and in general. We had lots of performances from rising gospel stars in Barbados as well, and the sermon was absolutely excellent. It was on point by Reverend Dr. Adrian Smith. So the church service was a fitting start to what promises to be a fantastic anniversary week and to kind of round out the anniversary year activities.
Well, I told you that I attended by screen. I was very happy to hear about all the initiatives that are going to be coming. As chairman of the 45th anniversary planning committee of sorts, talk to me about how you've been able to kind of shape the activities that you're going to do with everything else that the BDF really has going on. I know that you're constantly involved with relief missions as well, with all that was happening post-Beryl, plus what you do here in Barbados, etc.
Yes, so the 45th anniversary is a special occasion for the Barbados Defense Force. It's a wonderful milestone for the organization. And the Commodore of the Barbados Defense Force, the Chief of Staff, indicated that he wishes for us to have some very special events. However, he encouraged us to scale back just a bit, recognizing that we've been busy all year with exercise trade winds, Cricket World Cup, and we actually currently have troops deployed to a number of Caribbean islands assisting with the rehabilitation from Hurricane Beryl. So the anniversary year of events, we decided to spread these activities over the duration of the year. And the next activity up is the commemorative exhibition at the Barbados Museum, which happens on the actual anniversary day, which is the 15th of August, 2024. That basically is an exhibition of our military history of Barbados, whereby we chronicle the military history of Barbados from 1625 right up to modern day. And that will be exhibited at the Barbados Museum on Thursday, beginning at 6 p.m. It will be presided over by the acting president of Barbados, and we'll have some very distinguished guests who will be not only distinguished guests from Barbados, but from across the region as well.
All right, so that's wonderful to share a little bit of the history and bring us into modern day. What else is on the calendar that we can look forward to? I know it's a good mixture of some history, some very interesting and engaging programs, and a little bit of fun as well.
Absolutely. So I'll give you just a snapshot because we have lots on the program. However, the next activity on Friday the 16th of August is a tree planting ceremony where we will be planting 45 trees across the Barbados, the 3 BDF bases to commemorate the 45th anniversary and also in line with the Sustainable Development Goal number 15, which is land environment, and we are trying to do our part with improving our environmental footprint. So those 45 trees will be planted by the Chief of Staff and some special invited guests. The next activity after that will be the marquee event, the marquee military event, which will be the anniversary parade and sunset ceremony, which will be held at St. Anne's Fort on Saturday, the 17th of August. And that promises to be a fantastic event, as usual, pomp, pageantry, and precision, as usual. So that begins at 4:30. I was about to say 16:30, but for those persons who are not familiar with the military time, 4:30. And the parade itself ends with the sunset ceremony, the ceremonial lowering of the colors and the flags of Barbados. and then we move straight into a reception. And that is open to the public, and we're inviting the members of the public to come and watch a parade that can very well rival the National Independence Day Parade. And it will be contained within the historic walls of St. Anne's Fort.
Well, that's yet to be seen. I don't doubt it at all. But I look forward to all that we will see. Who will be participating in this particular presentation?
For this parade, we will have the 4 units of the Barbados Defence Force. We will have the Barbados Cadet Corps, our youth arm on parade. We will have the Barbados Regiment, which is the oldest unit within the Barbados Defence Force. We'll have the Barbados Coast Guard, and we will also have a representative detachment from the Barbados Legion. Moving on from the parade, however, I would want to say to you that there's also another opportunity for the public to come and learn a lot more about the Barbados Defence Force. During the anniversary year, we have a four-part lecture series, and the second lecture series in the 4-part lecture series actually happens on the 28th of August, and that lecture series will speak to the youth development arm of the Barbados Defence Force, the contribution of the Barbados Cadet Corps over the years. The Barbados Cadet Corps actually celebrates 120 years of their anniversary, or their existence in Barbados, and they will have a lot to talk about on that day.
Wow, I know a big part of what you're doing under this theme, Proven Excellence, Shaping a Promising Future, has much to do with the BDF kind of adapting to this modern space, the modern era that we're in.
Yep.
So how does everything that you're doing tie into the overall theme?
So, shaping a promising future, and that was the focus for the church service yesterday. So the Prime Minister of Barbados has given the BDF a mandate, and that mandate is basically to assist the government of Barbados with youth development, not just in building well-rounded citizens, but also helping to shape the leadership of the future of Barbados. And the Prime Minister has indicated that she has a keen interest in expanding the Barbados Cadet Corps, which is the youth arm of the BDF, and also for the Barbados Cadet Corps and the Youth Advanced Corps to work a lot closer going forward. And the intention is to improve the footprint. At the moment, we have around 1,200 cadets in Barbados, and the intention is to increase that to about 2,000 to 3,000 cadets. And that is the only way that the Prime Minister and the Cabinet of Barbados and the headquarters of the Barbados, of course, sees that we're able to make an impact on what is going on in Barbados right now, and to help to develop the leadership of our young people.
That's a big number. That's a big number. But we've seen and heard of the impact of the Barbados Cadet Corps on the youth of Barbados. And speaking of the youth of Barbados, there was a heavy focus during this church service on bringing back the BDF sports program. I know I've talked to you about that in the past as well, and this is something that you have been quite interested in as well.
Yes, I was actually happy to hear the emphasis being placed on the Barbados sports program. The Commodore, Arrington Sherlin, that is actually one of his pets, so to speak. He has a very soft spot in his heart for the Barbados Defence Force sports program, and he was happy to hear, as we all were in the BDF, happy to hear about the desire for the reintroduction of the Barbados Defence Force sports program. As you may know, the sports program's original mandate was basically to improve the level of athletics and sports in Barbados so that we could compete on the world stage. And it's quite interesting and fortuitous that this subject came to the fore yesterday, coming to the close of the Olympics. And with respect to the development of the Barbados Defence Force sports program, we've had many athletes who've passed through this sports program and credit their success in life with their participation in the sports program. Whether they continued in sports or whether they moved on to other endeavors, the Barbados Defence Force sports program was always acknowledged as one of the building blocks of their successful careers. We've had many successful persons who've passed through the Barbados Defence Force sports program. I can think of Tino Best, Miguel Cummins, and many others. And we're hoping that the resources are made available that we can recommence and restart the Barbados Defence Force sports program.
Yeah, I was really happy to hear some of the successes that were being spoken about with the sports program in various disciplines how young people were able to develop and how the sports overall were developed. The various disciplines were developed through, young people's involvement with the Barbados Defense Force. It's always interesting to share stories from within as well. So it would be remiss of me to have you here and not have you share your journey with the Barbados Defense Force.
Well, that's an interesting one. My journey was somewhat unique, and I always credit, in whatever space, whatever forum, I always credit the Barbados Cadet Corps with setting me on the right path. I myself personally came from a background not necessarily having all the resources available to most young people nowadays, and my outlet for expressing myself basically was through the military and through the Barbados Cadet Corps. I joined the Barbados Cadet Corps at the law school on my second day of school, and I was very, very excited to become a member because I always heard a lot about it. And after 8 years in the Cadet Corps, the only choice for me was to join the Barbados Defense Force. I joined the Barbados Defense Force on the 22nd of June, 1998. And within a week, I was deployed to Canada to basically undergo a young officers course, a commissioned officers course for 1 year. And those are some of the opportunities that are available to young people when they come into the BDF to help develop them. And it was actually the first time I've ever traveled overseas. So I got the opportunity to travel overseas to engage in military training. And 26 years later, I'm here as the second most senior person within the Barbados Defense Force. I've been exposed to military training all over the world. I've been exposed to engaging individuals, politicians, members of the royal family, ministers, prime ministers, etc. from across the world. And I credit all of that from my engagement, the opportunities afforded to me as a member of the BDF. And I encourage all young people, whether you are seeking a career in a professional track or whether you basically have no idea of what you wish to do, the Barbados Defense Force offers an opportunity for you to basically improve your academics, build your character, improve your discipline, time management and the whole gamut, and be able to understand life. You're able to understand hardship in certain areas, and I would say that you build resilience in the Barbados Defense Force as well. And I always encourage young people to join the Cadet Corps if you're of school age, or to join the Barbados Defense Force if you're leaving school, because it provides those opportunities to help build character and also set young people on a positive path as well.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's a wonderful story, particularly because I didn't guess that you were in the BDF for almost more than half of the anniversary.
Yep.
The face belies the age then, because I was working out the numbers as you were kind of dialing back. I was like, oh, those are some pretty big numbers,
Yeah, well.
but good stuff. You know, it really shows what the BDF can do. And it's wonderful that we've been able to hear and share so many intriguing stories. So before you go, I want to reinforce, because, you know, we've had this great relationship as in the BDF and the media throughout the years, particularly with the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. We've been able to reach out and call on you for, you know, various reasons to do, you know, certain things that people might oversee.
Okay.
You know, and to give viewers an example, we were doing a show just a few months ago where we were reaching out to the diaspora, a few people from across the world, and hearing from, you know, the various missions, Barbados missions across the world. And we needed the flags in the background placed correctly and so on. And one call to the BDF, and you were able to make it happen for us. And that's just one small thing, but it makes a world of difference.
Absolutely.
So thank you, sir, most certainly on behalf of not only the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation, but the rest of Barbados for what you do. And sometimes because what you do kind of goes so seamlessly, people can maybe overlook the effort that it takes to be able to get it done. So thank you all, first of all, for the work that you do for our country.
Absolutely.
Really, really makes all the difference.
We're here to serve and happy to be of service to the Barbadian public. And excellence, as you know, is our motto. It would be remiss of me if I leave here today without mentioning one of our marquee social events, which is the breakfast party, the ultimate breakfast fete called Therapy.
No, breakfast fete.
It is actually on the 14th of September, and it is being held within the historic walls of St. Anne's Fort beginning at 4:30 a.m. And it promises to be a fantastic event, a breakfast fete like none other.
You know that you didn't want to say 4:30 a.m.
I know.
You guys always say 24-hour clock time, so you have to say it by that time.
0400 hours.
0400 hours. Now it
Absolutely.
sounds like it's
Yeah.
a party. So 0400 hours, September 14th?
September 14th, yes.
September 14th. Let me tell you, I'll see if I can wake up so early. That's a Saturday?
That is a Saturday, and
All
is
right.
a throwback to the old Army fetes, but with a modern flavor.
Do you remember that we had an Army fete together for Socolics a few years ago?
Absolutely, I do.
Yes, I think that was 2010.
Yes, and
2010.
it was a wonderful event, and we're looking forward to, with our view to the future, the BDF of the future is looking to basically continue to engage and improve that engagement with the public. And we see that engagement not only through sports, not only through youth development, but also through those social activities where we welcome members of the public into our space to be able to engage at a different level, to be able to relax, let your hair down, and see a different side of the BDF.
Absolutely. And on this occasion, from you, your thoughts on where the BDF is and where you're hoping to go in the next 45 years.
Okay, well, I would say to you that Commodore Sherlin, our Chief of Staff at the moment, has set the BDF on a fantastic path for expansion and development in the future. The future force of the BDF needs to be a lot more dynamic, a lot more agile, and a lot more resilient. And the intention for us is to seek to improve our capacity in about 4 or 5 different areas. One of those areas being youth development, of course, as we spoke about the expansion of the Barbados Cadet Corps, and to basically help Barbados do our part for youth development and building youth leaders for the future. Also, we spoke about the engineering capacity and improving our capacity to assist government with special engineering projects, and also our emergency medical care response, expanding that through the field medical hospital and a number of other initiatives as well. The last two I'll mention is improving Barbados' cyber defense capability. As you know, cyber is one of the most contested domains of war or contested domains of conflict, and also our unmanned aerial vehicle capability, basically drone capability. Drones have so many different capabilities and applications in Barbados and across the world, and we're seeking to be able to improve in that particular area. So the future force of the Barbados Defense Force will be a lot more capable, a lot more agile, and be able to engage in a number of different areas to be able to provide assistance to the Barbadian government. And my personal view is that the BDF needs to be an expeditionary force to help our brothers and sisters across the region who may not be fortunate enough to have a military as we do, and we can basically go out not only to deal with support, but also help them in youth development as well, help them as well with nation building as we seek to do with Barbados.
All right, good stuff. It's wonderful to be able to share with the Barbados Defense Force on this 45th anniversary, and the celebrations are coming fast and furious. We're going to continue to tell you more about them, though. Lieutenant Colonel Carlos Lovell, military advisor to the Chief of Staff and Chairman of the BDF 45th anniversary celebrations. Thank you for making the time to come in and share with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely, and thank you all for the work that you do. Like I said, under the theme for 2024, of course, the actual anniversary is coming up later this week. It's the 15th?
15th of August.
Of August. Proven excellence, shaping a promising future. That's most certainly what they're doing. So all these opportunities that we're going to get to go within the walls of St. Anne Fort and engage and interact with the BDF, make sure you get out. We're going to continue to tell you more about it on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning.